I'm Whitney here on Brooks Family's Ranch, the .7, and we're here to talk about being a fourth generation rancher as well as a female rancher and talk about your cattle. So what made you want to be a fourth generation rancher?
You know, I think the fact that this ranch goes back 4 generations, a lot of years, and what it's meant for my family to work on the same ground that we're standing on today. It's a big thing to be able to carry this on to the next generation, and that's something that I want to be able to do for not only my son, but future generations as well.
So what is it like being a female rancher?
You know, it's really special, actually. I think when you're out here and doing the work, it's oftentimes harder, more difficult than if you had the strength of a male. But my mom manages the ranch, and her and my aunt own the ranch, so she's out here day in and day out, lifting heavy things on the tractor, feeding the cattle, working with the cattle, checking water, all that kind of stuff. And you find a way to work differently, but you accomplish the same task.
Right, so that's amazing. And I know that your family has a lot of environmental practices that really keep the ranch running, and it's kind of a hot topic for people right now. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Most definitely. So recently we are in a drought, and as you can tell, the grass out here is dry. It's not normally this dry this time of year. And it's something that we have to manage every single year. And we watch this grass like a hawk, because if we overgraze it, the health of our cattle will not sustain. And part of running a sustainable ranch is maintaining the grasslands. And in a drought year like this year, we culled more cattle than we ever have, which as a rancher, you care about each and every one of these cows, and having to sell them to lessen the amount of grass that they eat so the grass does come back next year. It's a hard decision, but it's one that, you know, we make year after year when we do have to, and that's just part of our job.
Brooke, I'd love to hear more about what makes your cattle make beef taste so good.
I honestly think it is the low stress handling. That is something that my mom has pushed from the beginning. My grandfather, of course, as well, but slow is fast around here, and nothing we do stresses the cattle out. Anytime we are gathering, we try to do it as slow and easy as they will allow. Sometimes they'll, you know, trot off towards the corral or whatever, but we never push them, and I think that really changes the flavor of the beef. If you can go slow and easy and keep the stress to a minimum, I think you're going to get a delicious product.
So what would you say really drives you to raise the cattle in a way that brings the best beef to our tables at home?
I think it's a lot of different things, actually. My mom and my grandfather, everything we do goes back to my grandfather and how he managed this ranch, and he knew it all. So we kind of joke, but if we do it the same way while adapting to new technologies, we will only better the ground that we're on. And just furthering that ranch into the next generation that's why I want to do it. I want my son and his kids and my brother's future kids to be able to come out here and enjoy what we have. I mean, look at this, you know, it's beautiful. It is so pretty, and I think in today's world, it's a rat race, right? So when you get out here into these open lands and you see cattle grazing, you know that it's good for the environment. I mean, you can just literally feel that this is what's right. I have such a deep passion for bettering the world that we live in for future generations.
Absolutely. I'm sure having a son, you know, really brings that to fruition, right? You want to continue
Absolutely.
your family business. You want to do the right things by the environment, and you still want to create an amazing product that then I can take into my kitchen and grill up some delicious cuts of beef, which you're going to come visit, and we're going to make some together.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Super excited to welcome you into my kitchen, and thank you so much for welcoming me out to this beautiful ranch today.
You're so welcome. Anytime.
On the Dot 7 Ranch, Brooke and her family take such great care of the cattle to bring the best beef into your home. And so I want to make sure that you can take that beef and make it into the most delicious meal ever. So today we're in my kitchen and we're talking about the best ways to grill steak.
Awesome. Whitney, what would you do with a ribeye? I know the marbling is so good and you want to grill it perfectly. How would you grill that steak?
Yeah, so like you said, ribeye is one of the best steaks in my opinion. I love the marbling. It's so delicious. Really all it needs is a little bit of salt and pepper and then a quick sear on a hot grill. And I always like to cook mine just to a perfect medium rare, and it is a delicious, juicy steak.
Absolutely. Another favorite of mine would be the T-bone steak. How do you do that? I know you get 2 cuts in one. What's your method there?
Yeah, so I love the T-bone, the filet, and the strip steak. It's a great steak to share for 2 people. And I always say, be sure to check the temperature of the filet when you're looking for doneness, because it's the leaner of the 2 sides of the T-bone. It will actually come up to temperature faster. So you wanna always do that. That's my tip with the T-bone. Once again, all it really needs is salt and pepper and direct heat on the grill.
Sounds so good. How about the California favorite, the tri-tip?
That is one of our family's favorites because we love to entertain, and it can feed, up to 8 people depending on the size of the cut. The tri-tip is great to cook over direct heat and then move to indirect heat. So you're cooking it a little bit slower than something like a T-bone or a ribeye. I like to put a nice rub on it, and you want to make sure that it rests for 15 minutes so that you can get all those juices in there redistributed throughout, and you have a nice juicy tri-tip.
Oh, that sounds so good. And also, one of my favorite is the top sirloin steak. It's great value, it's a good cut of beef, and if cooked right, it tastes so good. How do you do that?
Yes, so I love to do a quick marinade on the top sirloin. It gives it just a little bit more flavor and tenderness. Really all you need is 15 to 20 minutes and a little bit of acid. So I like to use a little balsamic vinegar. That's my secret, and a little bit of dry mustard. That's another secret ingredient that I put into my marinades so that you can get a nice, flavorful, and juicy, delicious sirloin.
Yes. Thank you so much, Whitney, for all the tips and tricks. As a rancher, we work really hard to bring beef to the table, and preparing it and cooking it correctly, it makes all the difference in the world.
Well, thank you, Brooke, to you and your family for bringing delicious beef to our tables.
Our pleasure.